Merry Christmas, gardeners. This is Enlightenment Garden, and I'm doing part 2 of the carport kit turned Coldframe. As you can see, there have been some changes since my my first video where I showed you just the construction of the kit. That's a 10-foot wide by 20-foot length kit. So I went ahead and added on an extension by ordering a second kit. These were corner braces, and I swapped them out to the 4-way connectors that serve as the middle junction in a normal 10 by 20 kit. But this gave me another 10 feet for 30 feet total in length. You can see I've covered it. I use 6 mil plastic sheeting. I bought a roll that comes in a 6-foot wide section by 100 feet long. Bought the rolls on Amazon. So I'll link that product. And what I did to secure this plastic is I used these heavy metal clamps. These are 6-inch long clamps, and the jaw opens to 3 inches. Now my structure's about 1.5 inches in diameter, the poles in this kit. So the jaw can actually open much wider than what I needed, but these are quite tight, and what I did was just use those to clamp at each section. So now with these panels, them being 6 feet wide and needing a 30-foot length, I had to overlap them. So this isn't sealed. You know, if I was living in a colder area, I would want to seal these seams, but I'm not so worried about that here. You can buy tape for that purpose. So you can see I didn't need to clamp the top, I'm just clamping the sides all the way around. So I kind of got this up in just the right time because this week, in fact, we're going to get down to 30 degrees and we're going to have successive days of 30 degrees. So freezing temperatures, the plumeria would definitely get cold damage if they were open to the air like that. This Coldframe is going to protect them. But ventilation is a good idea because we're not always going to stay cold. The temperatures can jump and be quite erratic. In January and February, I saw when we were, as warm as 60 degrees for a low and then 30, so jumping 20 to 30 degrees at times. So having the ability to raise and lower your sidewalls for airflow is a good thing. So what I did here is I've got 3/4 inch EMT conduit. I have them in 5-foot lengths, and I'm attaching them together via this coupler. It has a set screw on it, so you just tighten that down over those. Now to secure the plastic to the conduit, what I'm using is 1-inch poly tubing. So this is like drip line material. I cut these, into a few inches here, and then I split it down the middle, and what that serves as a clamp. So you can see all along the bottom here, I've got that poly tubing clamping down on the plastic. That's going to keep it snug. So what I'm using for my crank, and you can fashion this, out of rebar and welding, but if you want just a pre-built solution, this is what I bought. FLC 104 hand crank. Through its body it has a hole that you can essentially fit 3/4 EMT conduit, so that's what I did. I anchored into the ground right adjacent to my foot post here, one of those steel rebar pins. slid the EMT conduit over it, and then slid this hand crank body through it. So my 3/4 inch conduit that runs the length of this side sets into this via a bolt. So you just need to drill a hole through your conduit so that you can feed that bolt through the pipe, and then also this hand crank. Now, because I'm at grade, you do have to lift this unit up to start cranking, but it's as simple as rotating the crank to take your sidewall up for some ventilation. So you can do that to get some air flow through here when it warms up during the day, and then drop them at night as needed. So I'll be doing that on this side as well. I just wanted to test the hand crank out first before I bought 2 of them. But I have my pipe all ready to go here, and then I'll just be installing over on this side. Same kind of thing. You can see I've already drilled my hole into my conduit, so that'll feed through that hand crank. They'll be able to roll this side up as well. And so this did take a bit of time. It took me half a day, basically to cut all this out and then hang it, clamp it. But I'll be able to reuse most of this material next year when I need to do the same thing. Getting a kit like this can take out the guesswork. You don't have to cut anything. Everything's made to fit perfectly, no tools. I'll be able to use this year-round, especially in the summer for shade. Thanks for watching, and again, Merry Christmas.